back, guys. So what I realized is that some time has passed, and because a new day has dawned, we can actually visit Wolf to get our Minecrawler plate armor, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna quickly jump down to Mr. Wolf and see if he has finished the armor for us. Now, are you done, sir?
How far did you get with the armor?
I finally found a way to fix those armor plates to each other.
Does that mean that the armor is finished?
Yeah, man, here it is. Really seems to be harder than any other armor in our camp.
Thanks. I owe you something.
That's all right. I always find ways of covering my expenses.
Do you trade in anything else?
I buy fur.
Do you trade?
I buy.
Okay, so he also has a ton of stuff to sell. Question is, what's our dexterity situation like? You know what? Just before venturing into the temple, we might as well.
No problem. No problem. Sad performance. A tiny gust of wind and he would have toppled over anyway.
I know he helped us, but I'm just slightly abusing the Gothic 1 game mechanic because I really want some good gear when we venture into the Sleeper's Temple. So this is the Bow of Death, and it actually has a really nice model. Now we're gonna re-equip our Ulumulu. Actually, not really necessary because I'm just gonna do a quick transition back to the entrance of the temple. Now before we do that though, we need to examine what this armor does. So our water robe is 65 effective against weapon, 5 against arrows, 40 against fire, 15 against magic. This is way better against weapons, better against arrows, not as well against fire and magic. But it does have a pretty good model and actually looks like it's made from the plates of a Minecrawler. So pretty cool stuff. So quick transition to the entrance of the temple. Are you ready, guys? Are you ready to actually finally enter the big Sleeper's Temple? I am. Let's do it. So what did our nameless hero write? I managed to get into the temple. I don't have the slightest clue what's expecting me here, but I'll find out. Yep, that's exactly what we're gonna find out, guys. So as we enter the temple, we're gonna see a few interesting things. Now, number one, we have these war staffs which provide some light. Now, I'm guessing that, wow, this is, yep, quite a big setup. They have quite a big setup here. Now, I'm guessing that this is either iron or a different type of magical ore. Maybe it's cursed, maybe it's magically changed. Okay, this chasm is dangerous. And let's see what we have here. So we have a dangerous entrance, skull murals, orchid statues that act as pillars. Really good design. And this place is actually really creepy and I love it. I love every second of it. Are you excited, guys? We finally made it into the end game content. And as Urshak told us, this place has the whatchamacallit, let's just slightly lower the volume a bit because my headphones were too loud. This place basically has the skeletons, the bodies of the slaves who work here. So, not particularly too worried about these skeletons because they do exceptionally little damage to us. And look at our health bar. I'm not even breaking a sweat at this point. Okay. So we have the symbols of some archers pointing at something. Okay, that's an important clue. We have what seems to be like a sarcophagus and spikes. Okay. Can we take out the skeleton warrior by it? Yep, we can. So let's see what can we use to recover our mana. Okay. So this antechamber basically has a few routes. And because we're sort of hybrid class at this point, we can just use our spells to dispatch everybody quickly. Now, thing is that the Sleeper's Temple, it's not really difficult even if you go at level 30, because this beginner's part, more or less, is it's not difficult. You will have encountered undead until you reach this point, so they shouldn't be unfamiliar to you. You should have decent armor, you should have decent gear. Now this part is basically easy, but there are also a few secrets in this temple. Yep, quite a few actually. Now a few potions hidden in certain areas, and you can see that this potion is a potion of dexterity. So a few permanent potions are actually hidden in certain places. Now here's a cool trick. If you keep your telekinesis spell active, and if you close it but press your use key, you can actually pick up stuff from a distance, because the game, what it does, the game registers the fact that you have an item targeted, so you can pick it up from any range. And I think that instead of fixing the bug, I think the developer team decided to just let go of telekinesis entirely in Gothic 2, which kind of makes sense. Now, I'm not a fan of this particular exploit. I just don't want to. I'm too lazy to get up there. I think you can actually get up there. You think you can climb up here, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, you can. So yeah, basically this is what laziness does to us. To be honest, think about it in real life. If you had a telekinesis ability, like it would be freaking awesome. You could just wash the dishes from a distance. You could clean around the house. I don't want to go into the dangerous implications about, war and stuff like that, but it's just an interesting concept in and of itself. Now, we have some closed gates. There are skeletons behind these gates, and that's actually good news for us because we can attack them. And not just attack them, just dispatch them here with our area of effects spell. This is why I love Firestorm. It's an all-round lovely spell that does damage to everything. I should have had Rain of Fire by now. I don't even think I even bother keeping that rune. Do I even have that rune? That's actually a pretty good question. Do I even have Rain of Fire? Let's just cast one more Storm of Fire. Do I even have the Rain of Fire rune? That's actually a pretty good question. Fireballs, Storm of Fire, a Rain of Fire. Yes, we do actually have a Rain of Fire. And it actually takes a while to cast. And we're just gonna quickly loot up some of their weapons. And you can actually go into melee, assuming you're not a mage, although There isn't really any reason not to become a mage in this game because Gothic 1 is not balanced, sadly. Its game design is not balanced towards a specific class, unlike Gothic 2 and Night of the Raven. Anything up here? Nope dopey. Now, we should have a few pets ahead of us. If I remember correctly, yep, we have a hidden switch over here and some puzzles to do. And if you take a good look, now where was that? I think this is where it was. There are clues on what to do in this temple. Now, unfortunately, I think due to the the graphic mod I'm using, I think the clues have been sabotaged, which is not good. But let's double check that info, shall we? Now let's pop a speed potion. Let's see what's in this room. Okay, we have a skeleton over here that spawned. And his body also spawned. Okay, so this is supposed to be an ambush, but I don't really feel ambushed at this point. More like slightly disappointed. So another skeleton over here. Skeletons at this point are really like... can we actually kill a skeleton with a bow? I know in Gothic 2 they're basically immune to arrows, which makes sense. I mean, at best an arrow would probably graze the bone or maybe even pierce the bone, but undead are sort of finicky, so we have a couple of switches here. Undead are sort of finicky from a philosophical gameplay fantasy perspective. Like, what really animates a skeleton? And you can say, well, it's magic, but that's kind of a lazy explanation, isn't it? Okay, so what we have here, besides this unfortunate skeleton who never managed to get out of here, now let's see, do we have anything else to loot before we do this puzzle? Nothing up here, nothing up here. Okay. So normally, there is supposed to be a clue around here on how to interact with those things. And my memory might be finicky, but I think these are supposed to be color-coded, these three symbols over here. Now, it's possible that the light scroll we just popped is actually interfering with that. Now, it's gone. So, okay, so it's not color-coded here. Good, good. It might not be this puzzle, this specific puzzle, but might be just another. I'm not sure if this one... this just works if you press all the switches. So this is switch number 1. This is switch number 2. But I definitely remember some color-coded puzzles. So yeah, this graphic mode, don't use it. Good to know. Okay, so it did not work. Interesting, good to know. So don't use graphic mods that actually screw up with color-coded puzzles. That's a life lesson, kids. That's a pro move. That's a pro lesson right there. Okie dokie. Anything else over here? Now, there is supposed to be a specific clue somewhere, and I'm just gonna quickly pause the video and try to find a clue. Okay, and we're back. So it wasn't just the fact that it was color coded, but I forgot there's also a secondary level of clue, and that's a real neat design, by the way. So you can actually see symbols here. So we have a symbol of fire here, and this is a very simple puzzle, and I'm actually feeling embarrassed because I didn't figure it out instantly. Now, in the original game, so we have fire circle, which is probably the sun. In the original game, these were also color-coded. So one was, I think, orange, another was yellow, and another, I think it was blue. So the puzzle was a bit more obvious. Okay. So Those gates have opened on us. Perfect. Okay, and the gate down there as well. We're gonna go down there first. Now let's pop a speed potion, shall we? And see what else we can explore in this temple. Now this temple is big, so don't expect an easy run, like a quick run. Now, I think I want to talk about the game design. The Minecrawler armor is not well designed in the sense that if you join the new camp, so there was a Minecrawler down here that got killed by something. What could have killed this Minecrawler over here? Now we can see that these Minecrawlers actually took a lot of victims. And it's also an interesting question. How do they feed? And what do they feed? It's actually a really cool question. Like, what's the ecology of a Minecrawler? What do they eat? If they seem to be the dominant predator, how do they actually sustain their own population? Now, this fork in the road leads to some skeletons. And when you reach the fork, you actually want to go right or straight ahead. You don't want to go left just yet, because we're gonna have to explore this room first. And have a temple guard up there. Do we have the death to the undead spell? Okay. That's exactly what we're gonna use, because it does 10,000 damage points, which is awesome. I mean, it's a kill any undead spell, more or less. And we have another temple guard here. And a few skeletons coming right at us. Shouldn't be any issue. And by the way, I'm not even wearing an armor build. Like, I could wear protection rings and an amulet of protection and bump my armor to over 100, which would be so insanely high that I would almost take no damage from these skeletons in the first place. But I rather just keep my points for now. Okay, we have another skeleton over there. Let's shed some light on the situation. No pun intended. Well, it was intended. I'm not gonna lie. It was intended. Okie dokie. So, huge temple. And I really like the various motifs this temple has. So, these actually look like Scandinavian or, I don't know, maybe Celtic inscriptions. If there's any anthropologist or archaeologist, historian, anybody that actually knows. Okay. Almost ran into you. So yeah, how do these Minecrawlers survive? I mean, the temple was locked. Oh, but Urshak actually did mention that his brothers do perform sacrifices to Krushak, to the sleeper. That's actually a good point. So, do they perform the sacrifices inside the temple or outside? Oh, we have a torch, potion, another potion over there, another potion over there. Anything else? Even more potions. So yeah, the game incorrectly assumes, if you ask me, that you would come into this place without being adequately stocked on everything. I mean, the game throws so much healing at you. It also has a broken economy, unfortunately, that stuff doesn't really have value. Gothic 2 does a good job with the economy. really good job. But the best job, in my opinion, is Gothic Arculus. Now, let's see. We have a strange shrine we can't actually interact with, and we have a puzzle that is a sort of cheeky puzzle. So it doesn't really matter doesn't really matter what order you choose the thingies to activate, unless your demon is gonna spawn. And they actually give a lot of experience. 600 experience per demon. That's a lot, man. That's freaking a lot. And each time you make a mistake, another demon spawns. Which it's kind of weird because the game is saying, here, have some infinite experience while you mess around with this puzzle, which can have a total of just a few combinations. Okay. What is this? An undead orc?
An infidel in the house of the master. Damned be you.
You be damned, you stinky moldy carpet.
I actually have to be really careful here because you can actually get stun locked and it can actually kill you. Like it just happened to us right now. So this guy that spawns, the way you want to handle him, wanna really pop potion of haste. Oops, accidentally drank two, doesn't really matter. So in Vanilla Gothic, by the way, if you intentionally wanted to... this is patched. I keep forgetting that this game is patched. In Vanilla Gothic, basically you can spawn an infinite number of demons until you enter the correct combination, quote unquote. But this one is made so that whatever combination you enter doesn't really matter. A couple of demons will spawn and then the boss. Well, it's a mini boss really, it's not actual boss. So we want to save the game, make sure we're stocked up on mana and stuff. And we want to handle him from a certain angle so he doesn't chain stun us, which is kind of bad in my opinion to have an enemy that can chain stun you to death. It's not a really well designed fight.
An infidel in the dark.
You be damned.
Okay. Okay, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Jump away, jump away, jump away. Come on, we can do this. Ah, this is so frustrating. Okay. Okay, attempt number 3. If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna cut to the attempt that actually works properly. This is such a waste of time. I really hate this fight.
An infidel in the dark.
You be damned.
You know what? When all else fails, just punch an enemy to death, right? Okay. So sometimes it's just a simple solution, isn't it? So this guy was called Varag Kasorg, and it had a blade of light. This was the sword of the undead orc priest Varag Kasorg. The weapon has become useless in the course of time. Maybe the sword can be used in some other way. And he also has the ball lightning rune, which he just used to kick our asses a couple of times. And he also had some a different type of work staff. Even if they look the same, it's actually has a different name, so I'm assuming it's it had a different social position. If you wield that staff, maybe you're an arch shaman or something. Now I'm curious, just curious, just out of pure curiosity, what happens if we flick the switch? Anything? Yeah, okay. So yeah, in Gothic 1 there was a, I don't know, a bug, or it was misdesigned, so you use the Blade of Light to get out. But what you could basically do is just spawn an infinite number of demons, and just, if you had enough healing potions and healing with you, you could level up a few times. And I'm kind of happy that they fixed it. I was just curious if the bug was still in place. Okay, so we have a locked area over here, and this is basically the other main room we just opened, and a skeleton mage up here, which is going to quickly dispatch. And by the way, don't ask me why I used the Storm of Fire when I could have used Death to the Undead. Keep forgetting it's an insta-kill. It's a very weird visual bug. Okay, just got fixed. Now, we need to get up there. And in order to get up there, we first need to go here. Now, we have a few stuff we can access with our telekinesis. And by the way, the reason I'm using this little don't want to say exploit, but yeah, sure, it's an exploit. It's because I don't want to waste the time to individually wait until all of the potions slowly float over to me. Because it really takes a while, like when you have 5 or 6 items like we just had, really takes a long time. So we have a switch. And an orc can quickly dispatch. And they give us a surprising amount of experience, and I don't mean that in a good sense. Very little experience. Now, let's see, what do we have here? We have a couple of switches. First, anything else to loot in this area? So, this is an interesting alcove. Now, if I remember correctly, and I might not remember correctly, it doesn't really matter what switch you choose because the same thing happens. And basically the room the room slowly goes down, and you need to wait in this the ceiling goes down to crush it, and you need to wait in this little alcove until it finishes the animation. Try the switch. Which lifted. I'm actually hitting the ceiling lowering again. Not happy. It's not lowering, is it? Okay. I had a feeling for a moment right there that the ceiling was gonna lower again, and that's a sound bug. We approach this area, okay, so it got fixed. Okay, so the ceiling lowering sound bug is still there. That should be fixed. But let's face it, it's a 20-year-old game, nobody's gonna patch it. Has a very strong dedicated fan base, but nobody is gonna patch it. Now, up here we have another orc priest, Varag Hashor. Yep. And this orcish priest has a different ability.
Mortal! You dare to disturb my peace? Prepare for the end!
It remains to be seen whose end it's going to be, you worm-bitten meatloaf.
What he's basically doing to us is pyrokinesis, which is another form of a stun lock spell that I hate. Clefter of Worlds. Now this is another weapon, well, not a weapon, an item that we can use. Now let's see, what do we have in this room? What was he guarding? Can actually see that there's a sort of masher, and if you pass over it and are not fast enough, you're gonna get crushed. You can actually see that this was basically a sacrificial room, sacrificial chamber. That's the word I was looking for. And we have some, I still don't know if these potions were accidentally misplaced, like, or they're floating just so they act like secrets, so you don't normally notice them. Honestly, I think they were accidentally misplaced when they designed this temple. Ooh, I saw something right there. Actually saw a hidden potion, didn't I? Yes, I did. It's just a regular mana potion. Let's grab it anyway. I didn't come with a lot of mana potions, to be honest. Wasn't expecting to use a lot. And I think we're still gonna have a few left when we exit. So we're gonna open this place. Because this entire temple actually has a lot of potions to give you, just in case you run out. Even some spell scrolls here and there. Now, the problem with this puzzle, and I really hate this puzzle, it was never designed with acrobatics in mind. You need to be very careful as you do these jumps. Now, let's clear out these temple guards. Have to be very careful if you have acrobatics, because you can easily fall. It's not gonna kill you or anything, it's just gonna be an annoying puzzle to do, because they never actually playtested it with acrobatics in mind. Kinda sucks, but it is what it is. Now, we have some hints over here. We have sarcophagus and spikes, and arrows pointing at something. Let's heal up quickly. And I really like the way the orc priests talk, and they have a funny accent. And what the Nameless Hero writes in his journal is pretty funny as well. Varaka Sorg, another one of the 5 orc shamans, will now end his sad existence down at my feet. Damn, the Nameless Hero really is becoming cocky, isn't he? And now I'm facing Varag Hashor, one of the 5 orc shamans, who brought the sleeper into this world. I'll put an end to his undead existence. Okay. You do you, buddy. You do you. Now let's see, the game is giving us an arrow. It's visually reinforcing that we're supposed to shoot our bow at something. And you're supposed to take out your arrow, or your bow. And there is indeed something in a certain place you can use.
Mortal, your travels end here with me.
I'll send you traveling first, you moldy maggot's idea of paradise.
Moldy Maggot's idea of paradise. Chain lightning. Another spell that stuns you. Annoying, isn't it? I do appreciate that these mini bosses give you a lot of experience when killed, but honestly they're not much of a challenge. They're more annoying when you figure out how simple the trick is. Now, this is the room where we have the first arrow puzzle, and there will be 3 or 4 arrow puzzles into this game. Now, the room is closed. Okay. And we can see that we can actually aim our bow at something up here. And when you do that, the spikes over there are deactivated from what I remember, because normally if you want to jump down here, these spikes are gonna kill you. And also, from my memory, I think there was maybe a potion hiding somewhere around here. We're gonna do a lot of potion hunting. So what do we have? We have a sword, very nice looking sword called Rage Steel, which does an 88 damage, but we do not have the strength to do it. Now, what do these mummies have? An elixir of dexterity. Sure, I'll take dexterity. But I would much rather have strength. Yep. What else do we have? Elixir of life and elixir of spirit. 15 mana points. We are gonna find a lot of permanent potions, because the game doesn't. This is another game design issue, by the way. So we need to activate this gem over here, and now we can exit because the gates are up. Now this is another game design issue I have with Gothic 1. So the game can know what path you chose. If you wanted to invest a lot of points in strength or in dexterity or become a mage, right? We sort of evened out our point distribution, and we're pretty much experts in everything, I guess. So what the game devs did was that they wanted to make sure that you as a player could actually finish the temple. And unfortunately what they did was just throw a bunch, and I mean a lot, of permanent mana potions at you, permanent everything potions at you, not just mana, all types of potions really. So you would have an easier time completing this content, which in a way I guess it's a it's a band-aid solution, right? It's something you can quickly do, but it's not the best design, So here we're gonna actually find something surprising in this temple. We're gonna find some living humans besides this temple minecrawler over here. I actually didn't want to do that. Because I didn't want to attack that guy just yet, so let's just use a bow and arrow. I think a bow and arrow might actually be the best solution. So there's a guy called Gore Baba. Now let's just use our bow. I think we can dispatch them with. You can call them temple minecrawlers all you want, but they died just the same as regular minecrawlers. Okay, so Gore Baba. What's the story with you, Baba?
Get lost! You aren't wanted here!
And you are gonna stop me?
Yes, I will stop you! You won't prevent Master Callum from awakening the sleeper! Don't try to attack me! The High Priest has transferred part of his powers to Master Callum and us. Now we are immortal!
I'll show you how immortal you are.
Prepare to meet your creator!
Now, he's actually not wrong. He actually has way more armor than... And you can actually see that if we don't actually land a critical hit on him, we're not actually gonna do any damage. And in exchange, he also does a lot of damage as well. So what you want to do in this situation, you can either use magic, and we're most likely gonna use magic. And first I want to get rid of this guy. Or maybe just pop a quick storm of fire. Nah, let's just recover our health and
Show your face here again.
health first. Now you can either just use an ice block to freeze him, and you can pepper him with whatever spell you want. If you try to use pyrokinesis, it's not gonna work because his armor is way too high, unfortunately. So we're gonna not use Death to the Undead, and we're gonna use... Not gonna bother using Summoning Scrolls. Let's use... let's see if Chain Lightning works. But I don't think it's gonna work. Pyrokinesis, by the way, is a really cool spell because it can stun lock most opponents. But NPCs like Gore Baba are way too powerful. You can actually see that literally has no effect on him. Okay, so let's quickly run away. And basically that's the entire strategy with this guy. Just pepper him with Storm of Fires. And wow, did you actually notice that? He actually had increased movement speed. It's actually cool, that wasn't in the original game. Oh, he's after us. He is after us. He actually has increased movement speed. That's actually freaking awesome. Wow, I'm pleasantly surprised. So in the original Gothic, they were just basically very tough, but not impossible to kill. Magic was your go-to solution, or just have a stronger weapon. If you have a lot of points invested into strength, you can actually use the stronger weapon. Good point, by the way. How much strength do we have? 58. Can we change our spec to strength somehow? Yes, we can. So we're gonna unequip our Amulet of Dexterity, equip an Amulet of Strength. We have 78 strength right now. Oh yeah, Revenge Steel. Now that's a weapon. That's a good weapon, Nate. Let's equip Stormbow. Yeah, sounds pretty good. So I want to quickly check something, if my eyes didn't deceive me or not. And I don't think they did. I actually think they had increased movement speed, which is highly unusual, but I'm happy that they actually patched that in. Now this is a patch. This was not in the original Gothic. Now let's see. Is he actually moving faster than us? Yes, he is actually. If you look at him, actually slightly sprinted to us for a second. Yep, actually moving a bit faster now. But now that we have a more powerful weapon, we can just kill him. Okay, so Custodian's Blade, Green Novice, Rule Soup, the usual stuff they have, nothing fancy. Okie dokie. Pop an extract of magic energy, and soon we're gonna hit level 42, damn. Now if you're wondering, I'm just probably gonna distribute all the extra skill points into dexterity and strength. And let's execute this guy. Okay, now with this execution, I think it's probably the best time to end the video right here. If we try to enter this room, okay, nothing happens fortunately. Now we have another puzzle on our hands. We gotta get into that room, but first we're gonna visit these tunnels down here, because there's actually some tunnels. There's a tunnel extension in this direction. Now, can't exactly remember where they led. I think they led to some more mine crawlers, if I remember correctly. Yep, more mine crawlers in that direction. So, no map for this area, unfortunately. So I just want to wish you guys a wonderful day. We're gonna see each other in the next episode, where we continue to explore the Sleeper's Temple. And Until next time, guys, I want to wish you a great day. And if it's gonna be one of those bad days, I want to wish you the strength and wisdom to overcome it as much as you can. You can like and subscribe the video and all that jazz, but even if you don't, that's okay, because I'm still gonna put out this content for you guys, because I love good games and stories and want to share them with you. So remember, the most important story in the world is your own. Cheers, guys.